How's it going, gentlemen? I'm Jacob Bertram, and welcome back to Modern Masculinity. Be your own man. These words seem self-evident in the male self-improvement world, but I think often people don't actually adhere to them. To me, being your own man is leading yourself and following no other, whether that's ideologically or in any sphere of life. Really, you should be thinking for yourself, coming up with your own beliefs. Obviously, you can take bits and pieces of others' ideologies, but ultimately you should be thinking for yourself. Unfortunately, I think that a lot of men on self-improvement nowadays, specifically young men, either haven't heard these words or have heard them and are not truly heeding them. I say this due to the rise of cult-like followings for self-improvement YouTubers. Now immediately Hamza comes to mind, but I don't want to be Hamza bashing when it's unnecessary. It's not necessarily his fault. It's just that when there's a bunch of young men in a place, impressionable young men, they're going to flock to a strong leader. Generally, this is great. It's good for there to be a strong leader for young men who's actually preaching good things. However, I think that a lot of these thought leaders of our time within the male self-improvement space don't preach the acquisition of realistic goals. I'm thinking of Hamza in particular when I say this, but he's saying, oh, everyone who is joining his YouTube channel or whatever has the potential to become a top 1% man. I think, quite frankly, this is not true. I know personally it is not my goal to be a top 1% man. I simply want to make enough money to provide for myself, my future family, and live a comfortable, good life. And I think, frankly, deep down, this is most men's goals. Being a 1% man and earning 7 figures of income, 7 or 8 figures of income, I think is a goal that should not be so readily preached by male self-improvement YouTubers, because frankly it's unattainable for most. This brings me into kind of a discussion of purpose and whether it's even realistic for most people to find one thing that they're willing to work 16 hours a day on. I don't think that it is, frankly. Alas, that is purely tangential. I was aiming to talk about being your own man. And to do this, I have three main points of contest that I have with the male self-improvement space in terms of adhering to the words, be your own man. So the one main issue that I see here with young men failing to adhere to the words, be your own man, is all kind of tied up into a general lack of introspection. And this manifests in two main ways, the way I see it. The first being this kind of following other men mindlessly. You see this in the case of Hamza in particular. Like I said in my last video, that kind of cultish aspect to his community. And then the second is kind of within that vein, but more particular, and that is adhering to a set of predetermined goals that is set by the self-improvement community. You'll see a lot of the time guys will be like, yeah man, I'm looking to make $10,000 a month, I'm going to start an agency, bro, and I want to get lots of women, and nice cars, fancy watches, blah blah blah. And while these may be good goals for some people, I highly doubt that that's everybody's goal, right? So there's just a lack of general introspection there. You know, young men aren't actually looking within themselves and trying to figure out what they want. And this is kind of a phenomenally easy thing to do. It just involves putting pen to paper, essentially. It took me about 3 minutes to determine that I wanted to get good at Muay Thai, and eventually at some point buy property off-grid and build my own house. 2 goals. Took me a few minutes to figure that out, and having them written on paper keeps me oriented towards them. It's that simple. And because of our consumption-obsessed culture, a kind of culture of obsession with consumption of content is a result, and this manifests through people constantly watching video after video, being like, oh, I'm going to start an agency, no, I'm going to do affiliate marketing, no, I'm going to go to Thailand and become a fighter. Like, all of these things that aren't actually authentic and coming from within the self. So anyhow, that's my brief video for the day. I'm committing myself to uploading once a day, consistently. Video length may vary. Oh, I'm getting a call, sorry. All that to say, main conclusion from this video is that this inability to truly be your own man comes from a lack of introspection, which in turn comes from an obsession with content consumption. That's my conclusion, my concluding statement. Thank you to my 2 years of college education and half a semester of university education so far for teaching me that. It's come in handy. And I want to give kind of a final minute disclaimer. I'm not saying that I'm better than anyone, and that I have fallen victim to this content obsession on many occasions. I find myself scrolling, I find myself watching too much self-improvement content. I've found myself doing these things on many an occasion. But I've taken the time on a few separate occasions to put pen to paper and to figure out what I want. And I'm just here to say, it only takes 10-15 minutes, and you just have complete silence around you, and the thoughts will come. What you want to do will come. So that's all for today. Thank you so much. Subscribe if you've watched a few of my videos, you found that you enjoy them. And peace out.